For the fans. For the players. For the big plays. Firebirds Weekly. Tonight's guests are Sean Brown and Desmond Maxwell.
Welcome to the next episode of Firebirds Weekly. My name is Adam Sammer with my co-host all the way down at the other end, Chris Sipperly. And in the middle, we got two stars from the Albany Firebirds, Desmond Maxwell to my left, and to my farther out left, Sean Brown, an old face in the same place. Gentlemen, how are you doing this Monday evening?
It's going well. Just prepping for Washington, getting ready for the game this week, and prepping for playoffs.
Man, just blessed and highly favored to be back in Albany with a great coaching staff, great players, and just to be a part of a historic moment. Just super excited for this week and the weeks to come for sure.
Excellent. Yes, this is the last week of the regular season. You guys are home on Saturday against the Washington Wolfpack. And as part of that, we are live tonight from the Clock Tower Hotel on New Loudon Road in Latham. And talking to Desmond and Sean tonight, just talk about getting prepared for this week's game, how you guys have been starting so far this week, getting ready for the Wolfpack.
Well, today we start off getting back on the field today, so we went over plays and stuff like that, getting back to day one things like training camp style. So, it felt good to get back out there with the guys and seeing the faces because it's been a long 2 weeks.
And Sean, coming back to Albany, just signing, last week, what has it been for you the last couple of weeks, coming back to Albany?
We've been in the talks for the last few weeks about, deciding, if I was going to come back or not. Obviously, I was with Houston during camp, got released, but super excited to be back. Coach Ware brought us back in a great fashion. Of course, he ran us to death, but it was great though. It was always good, but it's just preparing us for this week. But it's all gas, no breaks this week. So in the next few weeks, so we're super excited about that. Super excited to work with every guy on the field and off the field, and most of all, I'm super excited to be back with the greatest fans in football.
So what kind of pushed you over the edge in terms of making the deal? Like what made you want to make it happen?
If I'm being honest, I wouldn't play for any other coach, especially coming from the arena area with Coach Ware.
Yep.
Me and Coach Ware have been together for about 8 seasons, different places, and he's basically groomed me to where I'm at today and helped me move up and from the highest level, coming back down and, prepping me. And now I'm here to just enhance and help the guys out. I'm not here to change or adjust anything that the guys been doing. We're 9-0, getting ready to be 10-0 if we just stay consistent. But I'm just here to, like I said, enhance and help the guys out and let's get to the championship because we definitely came up short last year.
Sean, real quick, move that microphone closer to you. We don't want to miss any words at all for our fans of the Firebirds Weekly and the Nest.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we hear you. So get the microphone nice and close. Desmond, we wanted to start with you. A Kentucky guy, born and grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, and then went to school, Georgetown College, and then Western Kentucky. Just talk about your start in the game of football. Kind of who kind of pushed you through? Was it a parent or a coach or what was your early days for football in your life?
Oh, well, for football, it started for me at the age of 8. Like my favorite team is Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's just, I seen a couple of games and I just got really intrigued into it. And then that's when I started football and it just took off for me. I always loved the game. It's always been a passion for me. It's something that I love to be around. So with that, I just continue to get better with it, continue to learn from great coaches, youth league coaches, high school coaches, and college coaches.
When you're young, being a Steelers fan, Who imprinted in your brain the most? Was it the bus at that time?
Yes, it was definitely the bus. Even though I always had an X on my helmet throughout youth league, I
Yeah.
always wanted to run the ball like the bus.
Mhm.
He's always been like the guy that I look up to just because he's a big guy. I'm a big guy too, so
No
I
doubt.
always looked up to him.
Jerome Bettis, one of the best to ever do it. I'm curious. You're a Steelers guy. What about Aaron Rodgers? I know this derails everything we're going to do, but what do you think about them signing Aaron Rodgers to play for the Steelers?
I feel like it's going to help us. I mean, it's not going to get us over for the future, but right now we need a quarterback, so he's the best on the market. So we had a roll with him. I mean, I feel like we got still got one of the top quarterbacks. He's playing at a good level, even though his last 2 seasons don't speak. But I feel like he's gonna come in and help us.
Well, it'll be interesting because I think I'm me myself being a Bills fan. I at least watch Aaron Rodgers twice a year. Last year in particular, I felt like a lot of times his team lost those games. So obviously you're graded by wins and losses, but I think he should be okay. You know what I mean? I don't. I think your assessment's kind of on point in terms of it's a short term fix for a long term concern, but I think it'll be interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will too. Like everybody's saying, "Oh, he's old. He can't throw. He can't do this." But hey, man, he's done it at the highest level. He can continue to do it. Obviously, you see, he's been working out with DK. So with DK
Oh,
coming to the
I
Steelers,
forgot DK Metcalf's in Pittsburgh. Ooh, I forgot about that.
yeah, we gonna be fine this year. We're gonna be better on defense. So defense is gonna help us out a lot this year. They're gonna carry us. So we just need Aaron Rodgers to get us the ball in the end zone. Just don't bring up turnovers. Don't do the silly stuff.
I have an opinion to that. I mean, I'm a Jets fan, so I'm out there. But I think the Steelers are great. Honestly, have a great coach. It's just they're just missing that run game for sure. I think they definitely need a running back, especially in Aaron Rodgers' career right now where he's at. I think they need someone that's gonna, run the ball and help him get those, especially on the play actions where he can throw over the top because he's a gunslinger for sure. But I think now that they don't have that, I think they're going to convert more to 4, 3, 5 yards and then, pop it over the top to DK. But I think the Steelers will be fine. Mike T has never had a losing season ever as a NFL coach. I think he's either one of 2 or 3 coaches ever to do that.
Yep.
But I think this year they just need they get a running game going. I think, Aaron, that'll help Aaron Rodgers out a lot. I'm a Jets fan, so Breece Hall didn't really do it for us last year. Fumbleitis. So,
well, I'm just glad for my team that we have George Pickens, who's a pretty top receiver. So we pair him up with CeeDee Lamb, and we're good to go. So back to you. You after that.
So we think.
He better. All right. What was your football life in terms of going through high school and then trying to get to that next level, college, and that kind of thing? What was that process like for you?
That process was pretty. It was pretty rough because at the time I didn't have a very good ACT score, but I scored well enough to get into Georgetown College, but it wasn't good to get into NCAA school just due to the fact because it jumped too high and everything in my ACT. So, I mean, just took it as God wanted me to go through these trials and tribulations with my football journey and everything. So with college, I mean, I would start off at Georgetown and wind up finishing up at Western Kentucky, where I graduated from. And it was just a blessing to play at the highest level because I was always told I wasn't going to be able to play at the highest level. Just want football, and I did that. So now with the professional journey, it's you're not going to play and stuff like that. So I just took it on the chin and just kept grinding and just kept doing what I had to do to earn my way to where I'm at right now.
I think it's good because, especially for us here in this league and a lot of the the people that we're playing to are, we have these kids, right? And it's like, hey, maybe you didn't do a good job academically the first time around. Okay. Like, yeah, that's a whatever, but then you figure it out. And I think that can be that's a good thing, to show these kids like, hey, as long as you're working and staying in the classroom, yeah, you can be a great football player, but if you don't get it done in the classroom, hey, your opportunities might be limited. But to see, somebody like this, and then to be able to come out now to where you're in the professional ranks. I think that's a good part of that story, even though it was something for you. Maybe you were like, oh, I wish I had done it this way or that way.
Yeah, because that's why I was telling my kids now I coach high school football back at home. But
Mhm.
I always tell them like it starts from your freshman, sophomore year, and then you know if you slack off them 2 years, it's gonna be a rough junior and senior year for you. Now you're gonna play in catch up when college scouts they can go get a guy from Florida with good grades
Mhm.
versus what you got going on with your grades. They ain't waiting on the guy in Florida. He already got his grades. So why wait on somebody when they already got the grades when you don't got it, when you should have been did what you're supposed to do. So I just install in them you gotta be a student before you can be an athlete.
Right.
If you want to
Definitely.
go to college, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta handle your business in the classroom. So that's why I've been preaching to my high school students in there. They're getting it. Like some of my kids, they're at the next level playing, whether it's D2, Division One, or NIA. They're all doing what they love to do.
Hmm.
It's just all because it's just they're being a student athlete of the game.
No,
Hmm.
I can definitely agree to that. I mean, there's only a few things in this world that's free, and opportunity is one of them. So, if you have an opportunity, you have a chance to definitely succeed and excel in that. Opportunity is everything. If it's like when a guy comes in and they complain about not getting enough reps, but you just have 4 reps. You got to make the best 4 reps. Tom Brady says that a lot. When he came in, he was only getting like 2 to 4 reps a day at practice, but he made those the best 4 reps that he possibly can. So I think if with the younger generation now, if they understand that, I think they could do anything. Because I have a saying, the possible was once impossible, so anything is possible. So that's just something I live by to this day.
Desmond, what was your major in college?
My major was communication. So it started off with broadcast journalism, but due to my football schedule at Western Kentucky, we had evening practices. I had to switch it up to communications.
Gotcha.
Talk about the process from going to Georgetown, then to Western Kentucky. So it's like you kind of do that process all over again. Like you had to kind of do that process going from Georgetown, the NAIA to the Western Kentucky. What was that process like? Did you have relationship with the coach, or how did you kind of find your way to WKU?
It was just so Western Kentucky's have always been on my radar since I was coming out of high school, and I didn't have the grades really, so I went to Georgetown and just treated it not like a JUCO, but just like
Mhm.
a stepping stool to where I can get time on the field, I can get my grades together in the classroom, I can focus. So once I started playing on the football field and actually starting as a true freshman at my position at tight end, I just played 2 years and just took the risk with it. Was hey, I just want to transfer and go play at the next level. So I took the risk and I made the best choice. Western Kentucky was the best choice for me. I would never regret a decision, but that's what.
Where did you get the advice, or where you just kind of knew in your heart that's what you had to do?
Uh, it was. I have a homeboy. He played for Western, and he was telling me that they were asking about me and everything.
Okay,
So, like
that helps.
even before I got to campus and stuff like that, my locker was already.
There you go.
They already had my jersey and everything waiting on me to get there and stuff like that. So I just took a leap of faith and just went to Western
How,
Kentucky.
how far is it from Louisville, where you grew up, to Western Kentucky? I'm not familiar with the geography down there.
It's like I want to say hour 32 hours. It's like
Okay, so not too far away. Like it's a
yeah.
pretty close. So playing there. Talk about having like family and be able, family to be able to come down and watch you play in that situation.
It was a great feeling. Like I said, it's not too far from Louisville, Kentucky, so it's like 45 minutes away from Nashville. So I got family in both areas, so it was always good seeing family come down every weekend or every other weekend. When we had a home game and everything, and it was just a blessing. It was just a lovely atmosphere. I just loved being on the hill, and also my family did too as well. So
And then you graduate from WKU in 2017. So again, the kind of the message, like you said, you kind of, were able to graduate from, WKU. Talk about, trying to get ready for the draft, and obviously that's a goal that, you know, every football player has, wanting to make it to the league. Talk about that process and waiting to see if your name would be called.
That process was pretty down when I didn't hear my name get called, but I also kept my faith. Like I got a couple of workouts with a couple of teams and stuff like that, but other than that, like I just knew someday like my professional journey wouldn't be over. It wouldn't be the NFL, but it wouldn't be over. So, throughout that process, I just kept my head down, kept grinding. I treated it as like a 9 to 5. You got to go to work. You got to go do this. You got to go work out. You got to go stay in shape. You got to go stand out in front of the scouts and everything at pro day and everything. So it just, it was just, I treated that as a 9 to 5. So I was just always grinding, always working, finding a way to be better.
Who were some of the teams you had workouts for, and that kind of like obviously there was obviously interest there.
Cincinnati, since it's close to home.
Mm-hmm.
Nashville, Tennessee Titans. That's right, like 45 minutes away from campus and everything. So I just had them two teams. It's just right there, close to the area and stuff like that. So,
but it's still like okay, like hey, they're gonna bring somebody and check it and have check you out, to see what you could bring to their team and their thing.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. It was a pretty good feeling just going to facilities and stuff and just actually going through that process. So like I said, I enjoyed it.
And then talk about your transition from the outdoor game to the indoor game. How did you kind of find out more about this, or did you know about it before? Had you watched it? Were you a fan of it before, or is this something that you were like, what's this indoor thing about?
So I actually watched a couple of AFL games on ESPN and stuff like that. And I was just like, dang, that seemed interesting, real interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But like after the NFL stuff didn't go through, I started my arena career at in Maine with Maine Mammoths when they played in NAL.
Mm-hmm.
So it was my first year there, and then I pretty much enjoyed it. Like it was pretty good. Like my first time being in an arena, atmosphere, and just playing against teams like Jacksonville Sharks and Columbus Lions and Carolina Cobras and stuff like that. I was like, I didn't know what would how it would be, but it was crazy.
So Maine is much different than Kentucky.
Most definitely.
Yeah, big time.
Most definitely.
So that was probably a little bit of an adjustment too, but I know football kind of kept it busy, so he didn't really get caught up in that all that much. I wouldn't think.
Nah, not really. I just, I was there for one reason, was to play football. Yep. It was just cold. It was cold all the way up to May. I was like, oh my god.
How was the crowds for the Mammoths?
It was pretty good. Like it was for it to be a first year team. Like it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was just like if it was around again, like if they brought the team back around like the next year, I would have went back and played for them.
Yeah. Where were they? What city were they in?
Portland, Maine.
Okay, way up north then.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
way up north.
Yep.
What was the toughest thing for you in terms of going? The fact that it's half the size of the field's half the size. What was kind of the toughest change for you to have to go from the outdoor to the indoor game?
It was just having a Mac linebacker coming down every play, just hitting you. I'm like,
right.
What?
Yep.
Like crazy. It could be a 250 Mac one week, next week it'd be like 275, 280. And then I was fresh out of college, so I was like 240, 245, and I was like, all this hitting and thumping heads and stuff like that. I was just like, oh my god, it's crazy.
So you're basically getting your butt kicked every play.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, so yeah, I have to step up. I have to do this because if I don't step up, this will happen. So that first year was just an adjustment period to the arena game.
And then you go playing with the Mammoths in the NAL, and then you're eventually with West Texas, and then Orlando. Like, talk about kind of hopping and trying to find that niche before now being here in Albany.
So I was with Orlando for about probably like 2 or 3 years before I went to West Texas and everything. But Orlando was just like, it was like home for me before I even went to West Texas. West Texas was just like all my buddies went out there and they was like, oh, we want you to come out here and play for us. But Orlando, they gave me a shot after Maine Mammoths folded, and I will always be grateful for the Orlando Predators. So it was just it was a little bumpy roller coaster when they first began, but other than that, like it was cool. Like just like West Texas, it was adjustment period, adapting and adjusting. So just trying out different things and different organizations and stuff.
Were you kind of bummed then when you saw like before the beginning of the season that the Predators weren't going to be able to have a season? Were you a little bit like, oh, like maybe you have some people down there, friends still, that kind of thing that you might have been able to see?
I was kind of like, I was kind of bummed. Like I was like, why do this
I
before
know.
2 days before
24
a
hours,
game?
Right.
48 hours,
Like,
excuse me.
like I was just like, why do this? Like, why have us go through camp? Why have us go through all this for you to be one to seize operations and everything? Like, it was just like one of those like, come on, like it's just
Diabolical.
like I don't want to deal with that because I had to deal with it in West Texas. I was just like, they cut our season short. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, but I'm just grateful for this opportunity. Albany, like I said, it's like family. Like I'm getting to build with teammates that I used to play against.
Mhm.
Like I used to play against this guy.
Oh,
Like it's
you imagine,
crazy.
yeah, this guy coming after you. Oh boy,
And I was
that's
like,
a big
it's
guy.
crazy. So like just playing with these guys and enjoying this atmosphere here. It's been like family oriented. Like I said, I really like Albany. I really like playing here.
Tell me about the opportunity. Did Damon get a hold of you, or how did you find out about the opportunity, and then talk about the process of coming to Albany to play for the Firebirds?
So Coach Ware, he reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in coming to play for Albany, and I was just like, because me and him we had experience. He used to be my coach in Orlando too, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
At
When he used to be
23.
Albany,
Yep.
yeah, Albany Empire. So
Yep.
we had that relationship already, and I always wanted to play for Coach Ware because he's always been a good guy. He's always win at the highest level and everything. So how he conducts practices and go about practices, and he said Albany's the standard. So I always wanted to play for him, and I like it here. I like what I do. I like how he goes about business, how he go about practice. He treats it like the NFL. He runs it well, and treats me pretty well.
Um, what has your experience been like here in terms of just everything about it, not just the football, but the fans, and we always like talking about flock support, and we think that that they do it better than anybody else in this league. Talk about the flock and the fans here in Albany, and what you think of what they do. I mean, they just bring a different atmosphere on those days.
Well, yeah, like I said, the energy is different here. The positive, like interacting with the fans and getting to know who they are. They come out weekly, so like it's never a brand new face or anything. Like it's just one of the best fans I've been around, even when I was in Orlando. But like I said, I like it here. I want to be here. I want to finish it off here. So like I'm very appreciative of this opportunity.
And what would being able to hoist that trophy at the end of the year mean to you? From all the other stops you've done and everything, to be able to win a championship here.
It would be lovely. Like I said, like it's once again, I knew what I was signing up for when I came here. When I signed the contract, I knew he was gonna have guys here. I knew he was gonna have guys that wants to win, who wants to win at the highest level of that. So like I said, hosting this trophy, it's gonna be a good one. Like I said, I just can't wait to get it rocking and just do my thing.
I did want to ask one other thing, and I kind of skipped it before, but I wanted to kind of ask it now. Obviously the arena league, the indoor game is very pass oriented. It just the way it kind of goes. Talk about being the change of pace in an offense like this and in a game like this. What is that in terms of, you don't run the ball very much, but when you do, it's like you got to make an impact. Talk about that part of your game.
Like I said, like we got a great quarterback and we got a great wide receiver. Offensive line is really good as well. So like I said, it's just when I get my chance, when I get the ball, I got to take my opportunities and go with it. Got to turn it into a positive. Don't put it in a negative, because if you just turn it into a positive, Coach Ware, he'll run the ball. He'll keep running the ball until it stop. But like I said, we got a good offense. We're great. So playing with these guys is just adapting and adjusting. Just playing my role and what I do to help us be better, help us play at the highest level.
What was your what's been your best moment this year so far?
It's when beating Billings twice back to back.
That's a pretty good moment for most of us.
Yeah, so it's just like to see them boys lose last year in the championship game, and then come out this year and we beat them back to back. So like I said, I wanted to be a part of something special, and we built something special here in Albany, being 9-0, about to go 10-0, and we're about to finish this off. So we got to do what we got to do to finish it off.
So I'm going to use this as a transition because I'm going to ask Sean. Did you watch both those games from home, Billing games? I'm sure you.
Oh yeah, super. I watched one of them for sure.
Yeah,
super excited about the guys getting the W, especially when we couldn't do it last year. I'm not a guy that lives in the past, but super excited. Not that they just won, but it was in convincing fashion for sure.
All right, so great transition, Sean. We want to talk to you as well. So you're so unlike many of the other guys, you're a New York guy. You're Uniondale High, 4-year starter for them. Just talk about your experience and where your part to play football. Did that start when you were 4 or 5 years old playing in the flag leagues, or when did the game start for you?
I mean, this is going to be a little different for you guys. I didn't really want to play football. I was a basketball guy for sure. I played basketball my whole life. And then I played football with the guys. We used to play Killer Man all the time outside. So I didn't play organized football until about 7th grade.
Okay.
And then from there, I just took off. But I didn't really take football serious until about 12th grade. But I was on varsity for 9th. I didn't really understand how crazy that was to be on varsity in 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then prior to that, having Andrew Carlos, who played for the Packers, coming from my high school and seeing, him win a Super Bowl, and they changing the whole block after him. And I just said, I got to be next. That's just the motto on Uniondale. It's like, hey, man, we got to be next. Like, you're the next up. So it's like, okay, I got to take it serious now.
So when did the transition come between, so you wanted to play basketball, like you were, I'm assuming you weren't as big as you are now. Maybe you were, and you were that big guy in the middle, the Shaquille O'Neal maybe of the Uniondale High. But
yeah, I was big, but I wasn't this big. I was, but I definitely was way smaller. I'll be sure to send you guys some pictures. Don't laugh for
that. They may go on our Instagram reel. Don't worry about it.
It's cool.
But and then you did track. So I'm assuming thrower,
track and lacrosse. So
and lacrosse.
I was more of a lacrosse guy, and then my track coach, Mr. Cornfield, he was like, "Hey, listen, man, your dad ran track here. The lacrosse team sucks here, man. You might as well just come run track and just stay in shape for football and basketball."
Yeah.
So and that's ended up happening my sophomore year, and I stopped playing lacrosse. But I played lacrosse since I was in 6th grade.
Do you think the multi-sports really helped junior development overall?
Oh, definitely. I mean, a lot of guys don't really see the athleticism or understand it until they play against me. But that comes a lot from that, playing lacrosse, basketball.
Yeah, I think it's huge.
Yeah, I played everywhere. I mean, I played against Tobias Harris in the state championship, Long Island championship when I was in high school. I had to guard him. He's a starter. He's been a starter in the NBA since he's been in the NBA. He's from Long Island. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, we're a big basketball and track school for sure.
And so talk about your process. You go to Nassau, you do Nassau Community College. So you kind of stay real close to home for a little while, and then you go to Mississippi Valley State. Is that FCS, like Division 1AA? What it used to be 1AA?
So it's 1AA, but before that, so at the high school, I was
Lewisburg. Okay.
So I went to Lewisburg College. I went there for about 1.5 years. So when I got there, I was supposed to go to UConn out of high school, play football at the end.
Okay.
But I didn't have the grades, so I ended up going to the last second, but I couldn't play that fall. So I didn't play the fall. And then they brought me in, played the spring, dominated the spring, played the fall, and then my dad got sick. My dad was on dialysis for about 17, 18 years. He passed in 2016. But so when I came home, I went home to Nassau, and Coach G, he made me talk in front of the whole team. He was like, "Oh, so now you want to come back? You should have just stayed here," because Nassau was a powerhouse when I was in JUCO. We were number 4 in the country at Nassau, and before I got there, it was like number 3 in the country. So the whole O-line went Division 1, whole D-line went Division 1. So from Nassau, I went to Mississippi Valley State. I was committed to Syracuse, but I didn't graduate in the fall. I graduated in the spring because my credits didn't transfer, so I had to end up going to Mississippi Valley State, playing there, starter 2-year captain, and then from there went to the Colorado Crush. No, went to the Green Bay Blizzards in on the IFL, and then I got traded, and that's when my life changed forever. That's when I met Coach Ware and Coach Marvin Jones, and then it's just been history from there. And I went up from there and probably played in every league known to man from there. Went all the way up, came down, went back up, came down, went back up. But, Coach Ware has been there every step of the way, guiding me and then getting me to the right opportunities.
So one question we had was, what is a Delta Devil?
Like, what is that? Where did that nickname?
You know where that nickname comes from?
I mean that's valid, but that's the logo. I mean, I don't even know where it came from for sure, but I know the Delta is an area in Mississippi, so it's a smaller area.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
So the Delta is different. So on the Delta, we was on campus, and then across the street it'll be raining, but it'll never hit the campus during camp. I don't know what it was. It was so crazy. I was like, man, this is and it's hot in Mississippi. When I mean hot. Super hot. I was like, nah, the rain has to hit. Never hit football field in camp.
You're like, if it just rained, maybe it'll cool down like a little bit, and it won't be so brutal. But no, not so much.
I feel bad for the guys now. They have turf now, so.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, I feel bad for them, but it's interesting.
Turf's a great idea until it's not. Like it's just, turf's brutal, man. Like it's great for a lot of things, but player health is not one of those things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you've been, like you said, you were in the indoor football league. You're also in the USFL, the new version. You've been in the UFL. Obviously the game of football is the game of football. But talk about playing in those leagues. Those are kind of those, for lack of a better word, the filler leagues for the NFL. Like, I'm just blanking. Kavontae Turpin for the Cowboys, great.
That's my boy. Like, that's really my guy.
Yeah. Like, for example, like a guy that came from the USFL and
he played arena too, though.
That's what I mean. So like I'm saying, so these are leagues where you can move up,
right, if
you have the skill set, which obviously many of you guys do. What is it like to play in those different setups compared to, say, here in Albany?
Just to compare it, it's just, outside football to inside football. And I always tell all the guys from, outside that, playing indoor is way more physical, and it's much faster. Anybody who has the opportunity to come from the, indoor league, AFL, whatever, and go back outside, it should definitely improve your game. The only thing that, it kind of slows you up is on that playbook, because that playbook is no joke if you've been playing inside for a while. So you got to definitely lock in on the playbook. But on a physical standpoint, you should be the most physical guy at your position when you're coming from arena back outside, and just as a mindset. I remember I almost played a year of football one season. Coach Ware could tell you. I mean, I went from the AAF, made it, then got cut, then went to, IFL, then got picked up by Albany in the AFL, then went to Philly, then went back to Albany, then went to back to
so many you can't even think of it.
It's so crazy. Yeah, went back with Coach Ware in the IFL, and then I was getting a call to go back in the AF, and then they folded, and I stayed in the IFL. It was crazy.
So literally just you never really had a break from it, like, because all the seasons were somewhat different.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I learned everywhere I went. I learned a lot everywhere I went.
Experience is knowledge, man.
What's so funny is, Coach Cisse is our coach. I met Coach Cisse that year. He was playing. I was going against Cisse. I met Prince in Philly. I met Hollis. Hollis in Philly. I met all those guys along that process. So, I mean, the point of saying that is, your journey is your journey. And then, all you got to do is just grow from your journey. If you don't grow from that, then I don't know.
Well, I wanted to talk about, in the USFL, you won the 22 championship with the Philly Stars, and you talk about that as part of your journey. Talk about the opportunity to play in the USFL. Like, how do you go from college and then is it right away, or is it something where, how did that come to pass to be able to play in the USFL?
Oh yeah,
have that opportunity.
I mean, I'm going to start it off with God, of course, and then next after that, Coach Ware. put me in the position to get to that opportunity. But then it was so crazy. It's all about it. I was on a business trip in Miami. I got a call to come play in the spring league, and I played for Coach Bart. They brought me right in. I started that week. I balled out, and then next year the UFL's coming out, and they was like, "Yeah, we're gonna draft you." To sit there and be fortunate enough to get drafted to make history is incredible. No one can take that away from me, But all the names I named was a part of that process for sure. So, like I said, it was a little bit of luck and timing, but I never stopped working at that time. So, the opportunity was there. Like I said earlier, opportunity is everything.
But you also got and I think, and again, I kind of talk about it in terms of the kids, like you coach high school, and it's like you can get the opportunity, but the only way you're going to keep that is to work for it and make something of that opportunity. Obviously, you were able to do that in spades.
Yeah, that's what I tell my guys now. If you guys don't know, outside of this, after I'm done playing, I do help kids get NIL. I work with a pretty big agency, and we help guys get NIL deals, in the college level, and we've worked our butts off and got guys from Division II to Power 4, FCS to Power 4. We changed a lot of guys' lives in the last 6 to 7 months when I was playing and not playing. But everything is preached around opportunity, So, once you get your opportunity, you got to seize the moment.
And that's big now because they just made the ruling that schools can pay players. So they've kind of, even changed the game a little different now. Even just this week, I think they made that decision.
So they were paying players already.
No, I understand. I'm just saying that they made it kind of an official.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Thing,
the schools are going to be paying the guys, and I'm super excited for the guys. I mean, they have the opportunity now to make enough money to, change not just their lives but their family lives as well. But most of all, that little kid that has no hope, and they can see someone say, "Hey, he's making some money before the NFL. He can, make some money now, and and just expand their horizons from there."
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's just definitely needed because for decades upon decades.
Yeah, for sure.
They were kind of other leagues are made off their back. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And it's a farce anyway. Look, in the 80s they were paying SMU players. We've seen the 30 for 30s and stuff like that. I mean, this is
the McDonald bags and stuff like
that.
Yeah,
now at least it's out in the forefront. We know what's going on. It's not a secret. It's not this.
Done the right way,
they're doing it the right way, and the players who are making millions of dollars for these schools and these programs are getting a piece of it finally. So.
Yeah, a lot of guys don't know, man. The NCAA is a nonprofit that makes billions of dollars every year.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you just do your research, and anyone who doesn't understand what a nonprofit is, I mean, it's self-explanatory in the name, but I mean, nonprofit, and you're making $1 billion every year. I mean, that says a lot.
And then, coming into this year, that last year, you were here in 24. Then you go down as your shirt shows. I think that's a Roughneck shirt, I believe. Mm-hmm. Earlier this year, and then now signing, recently, obviously, to come back. Talk about that, going from Albany to Houston and back, and that process and how that all kind of worked out to come back and to re-sign.
I mean, it was great. I mean, if we can, we lost the championship. We lost, and I drove home right after we lost. I drove to Georgia. I live in Georgia now.
Oh, okay.
And it was so crazy. A lot of guys don't know this story. Only me and Coach Ware know the story. I drove home.
Exclusive.
Right. On my way home, I know I get a call like, "Hey, they have a private workout for the UFL, such and such place in Georgia." I literally am an hour from home. I said, "Okay, cool." I'm gonna be honest. I'm not working out. I've been doing this for a while. I mean, they know who I am. I started in almost every league I've been in. So I go up there. All the guys is warming up. One of the coaches like, "Oh, you're late." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I didn't come here to work out. I came here to talk to some of the GMs." I went right to the GMs and I spoke to all the GMs.
There you go.
I spoke to Will Lewis. He came. He said, "Oh, SB, come here, SB. Come on, let me talk to you." And then we talked. He looked at me. He said, "Oh, you looking good, man." And then next thing you know, he contacted Coach Ware, my agent. And then after that, it was just back and forth. He's like, "Hey, when I'm gonna sign you, just give me a time." And I'm, fast forward a month and a half later, I'm in the gym training. I'm literally doing abs. He didn't even call me, man. It was funny. I look at my email. It's a contract.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
I called Coach Ware. I said, "Man, I think I just got a contract from Houston." said, "Oh man, open it, man. Why you acting so slow, man?" You know. So,
I could definitely hear him say that.
but that's so great though. Like, he's like, you know what, man, you have the opportunity to do that. Hey, go for it.
Yeah,
Like,
and then me and him came with a plan. I mean, I said, look, coach, I never want to make this about me, but I think you guys deserve, or we deserve to definitely, get the best guys to come here. I said, we need to put this post on Albany. Let's do a collaboration and keep it up there. So the guys need to see, just to make me the front runner, like, put it on my back. And we go from here. And then we end up signing 2 more guys.
Yeah.
And then they end up getting signed to the UFL. And then other guys that played outside, they're like, hold on, this is something real. Like, they getting guys in and out. And then they come in. And then I think it's going to keep coming. Like, Coach Ware phone never stops ringing.
Well, that's one of the great things about AF1 and about Albany and about the league in general. It's a place where guys can move up and continue those professional dreams, kind of like you talked about, having those professional dreams and making those things a reality, whether it's here, whether it's the UFL or even the NFL.
A lot of guys don't know, last year we had 2 or 3 guys that came from here and went to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, like literally during the season. A guy went straight to the NFL. Another guy went to the CFL. And I think another guy went to the UFL. So the opportunity is here. I think, and me and what coach and a lot of guys, we talk all the time. I think the problem is a lot of guys, when they come here, they kind of lose their work ethic. They kind of get comfortable, complacent. I never want to do that. Because I just never want to be the guy where I feel like, you're just going to beat on me and I'm just going to play sorry. That's just not my game. I can't do that. So at the end of the day, I think I tell all the young guys, I talk to them, they like, man, how you able to go here and come back and go up? And I said, bro, I just work. And I always tell them this, and they all tell you this to this day. I said, stay connected with Coach Ware. Because like a lot of these other arena coaches, and I'm not trying to rain their parade, they don't make the calls. I think it's only one other team other than this that called in the Southwest Kansas, but Coach Ware, he actually going to call, text the GMs, send your stuff out. But if your stuff not right, he not going to put your name out there. Because at the end of the day, putting your name out there is putting his name out there, and then that'll ruin his opportunity for the next 10 to 20 guys that he can help.
Right.
His whole thing is he's not trying to keep you here. He's trying to get you up.
Mm-hmm.
But he has that real conversation. Hey, look, you're this age and this, like, it's probably over for that, but you can make a good career here and grow from here. But the younger guys, he's like, look, you really got an opportunity. And I think we got about a good 5 to 7 guys right now that I know could go back outside. I don't think we had that last year.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of did, but we didn't.
Yeah, times.
Yeah, but we definitely got some young guys that can go literally this year.
I have a question actually for you, and maybe this isn't right, but I was looking through I think it was a 22 Pittsburgh Maulers, I want to say. Trey Wortham was on that roster.
So what happened was, this is interesting. So when I started in Philly, I played there for 2 years. I decided I wasn't going back to Philly. I signed to Pittsburgh, and then they did the merger. So when
gotcha.
I didn't get a chance to even play with the Maulers. I was super excited to play with the Maulers. So it was just, a lot of guys I played against, a lot of guys I played with, just super excited to play for, a younger team and a team with a super great defense. I was excited to do that, and then boom, the merger happened, and then, that's how I ended up in Albany.
So you said that, this has been obviously a bit of time. The official signing happened, last week, but it's kind of been in that. What is in terms of you getting ready? I mean, obviously next week, is the final game of the regular season. Then, hopefully 2 playoff games, including a championship. Just talk about making sure that you're in the shape. Like, was it really just a matter of like? I mean, you're obviously in the gym probably all the time anyway, but is it a matter of just like getting into that football shape and getting back ready to go, or is it because you've really had not a lot of, like you were with the Roughnecks, and like you're kind of already in shape, you're ready to go?
Yeah. So today was a great, challenge for all of us. Today was good. I kind of surprised myself with because I was working out, but I wasn't killing myself how I usually do. But as far as like wind wise, I felt great. I mean, of course, we got to knock the rust off, especially all of us. But knocking the rust off, will be easy, especially with the coaches that we have here. They're not going to let us slack. But, I mean, since day one, any coach could tell you. As soon as me and Coach Ware made it official that I was coming back, the first person I called after that was Gabe, our strength coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, man, what's the plan? This is what I need. This is what I'm going to do, and this is what I need us to do. Then I called Coach Cisse, told him I need him. I want to do this and that. I call all the coaches on the staff and just tell them my plan, what I want to do. As soon as I got here, I got a physical. I put my bags in the room and I went to the gym. And we got to it after that. Then we had a little hard workout the other day. Coach came in there, put us through some sleds and stuff like that. But prior to that, I worked out an hour and a half prior to that because I wanted to feel that pain. I wanted to feel that burn. I wasn't like running from that, And then today we had a good little conditioning. We went, got back into it, and it feels good.
Good and conditioning usually don't go in the same sentence, but that's just me.
You gotta be a little to deal with Coach Ware, man. You gotta be a little psycho in the head a little bit, man.
What not to get into the dirty details, but what's the plan for you? Just a slow turning of the knob, just getting kind of acclimated with everything, or
I mean, honestly, man, we don't really have time to be slow.
Yeah.
I don't care if we were playing a powder puff team this week. We got to win. I mean, at the end of the day, we got to put the nail in the coffin and keep it going. As far as how we do, I mean, Coach Ware he's the coach. He's always going to play the best, who's playing the best at that moment. And I understand that. I don't think I'm bigger than the program at all. So if something was to come in like, hey, I'm not performing well, you're not playing this week, I understand that for sure. Coach Ware did something that was so interesting. My rookie year, week 13 in the IFL, I'll never forget. I've been starting, dominating. He came to me and said, look, I'm bringing in another guy. You're not starting this week unless you show me something different. I looked at him with 10 heads. I said, excuse me, I've never had a coach tell me that in my life. I promise you, I didn't talk to no one that whole week. And then he was like, yeah, you're starting. You and him are both starting. And then he talked later. He's like, I just wanted to see if you was gonna fold or you was gonna rise to the occasion. And that's the saying here in Albany for sure. And I think that's what it is here. We have so much talent here. It's unreal. We have guys who don't play that can start on anybody's roster in the league.
That's the truth.
Yeah, it definitely is. And the guys behind the bench, they can do it too. I mean, Cisse, is I don't want to be like in his orbit on game day because I'm afraid I'm going to get like punched or something just because of the way he is. And then, I mean, Hobbs is an absolute monster.
Oh man, Hobbs is a freak, man. What's so crazy? I meant to tell him the other day. I said, bro, I'm in the gym. I'm thinking I beat everybody to the gym. Hobbs in there with his hoodie on. Looked at me. He was like, yeah, catch up.
You know what the funny thing is? I kid you not. We saw, the team had put something up. I don't know if it was last Tuesday night or whatever day it was. Announcement at 9:00. It's like, listen, we had Hobson the week before. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if that dude was playing because he looks phenomenal.
Oh yeah, put a uniform on him right now. He's good.
That's my first guess.
My first day back, he made a little joke to me. He said, "Man, listen, if you wasn't coming back, man, I was about to dress up." Man.
Yeah,
looks like he can, man. He's. I was impressed. I mean, he's a guy I spent some time with a few weeks ago, and definitely
he's always been a true professional.
Yeah.
I think he's a great coach. Just I've only been here back, for a few days or a week now. But from the outside looking in, I can see the development in the DBs already. I can see how they're, growing. The way he approaches the game, he gives that gift to the players on the team, and I really appreciate that.
What would it mean for you after coming up, that one game short against Billings? What would it mean to you, being able to, again, hoist that trophy? Same that I asked to Desmond. What would it be like for you to be able to climb the rest of that mountain?
I mean, it would mean everything to win the championship, but also to win the championship here, and most of all to win the championship with Coach Ware.
Yeah.
We've been everywhere together. To win one with him is very important to me. And like I said, whatever we need to do to get the job done, we're going to get it done. And I'm just super serious about what I say. I don't care who's in front of us, man. We got to run through them. I want to win. I don't want to just win. I want to win in convincing fashion. And it's nothing personal to none of the teams who see this. I don't like none of you guys, but it's okay.
It's just business. Well, it's not personal.
I mean, listen, if someone's going to be in front of you, the mission is to beat them and do it well. Like, the gloves are off now, man. Mm-hmm. Like, it's time. It's been time the whole year, but
for coming from an offensive lineman, and this offensive line crew I've been evaluating them, and I'm super excited. I've been talking to them consistently, but man, we have the best quarterback in the league, and he can't get touched, he can't get hurt. So we gotta keep him up. We gotta take it personal. Any guy who's trying to attack our quarterback or any of our guys. So we're here to like I said, we're here to destroy. Because I don't want to just say we're here to win. It just makes it sound like, yeah, we're just gonna here to win, but we're here to destroy people. I mean, that's just
That's
it.
got to be mindset. I mean, I think that's when you trip up is when we'll beat them. We don't need to
And
worry
because
about it.
it's they're coming in, they're only they're like 2-9 or
Yeah, I don't look
whatever it is,
I
and
don't-
it's
I
like,
don't-
oh, I can't look at that.
Yeah, I don't look at the record. I don't. I'm not into the whole worst team, best team. I don't care. I don't care. I take every game the same approach every time we play.
So sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. You got it.
So, a question for both of you: film study. What do you tell guys that are watching film that to make sure that they don't fall into? Because I have a little bit of coaching background in my life, and a lot of times I hear from players, "Oh, they're not that good. That guy isn't great."
Oh man, I'm glad you said that. I'm sick in the head when it comes to film. I can't wait to be done so we can go. I could go watch film after this. No offense to you guys, but
Although I get it.
No offense taken.
Yeah, but my whole thing is I will watch one play at least 10 times.
Yeah,
I'm watching everything. I'm evaluating their stance, how they do their feet, their hands, pad level. What are they doing a lot consistently? First down, what I'm doing when I'm slacking. If I'm leaning, if I'm doing this, I'm not. What are they going to do?
That's the big piece of it is looking in the mirror.
And I have a different approach. A lot of guys say, "Hey, we're going to stop their weakness." I want to know their strengths and stop their strength, because when you stop someone's strengths and their weaknesses, that's what you call demoralizing them,
right?
For sure.
Well, the good thing for you is that the best guys you're going to face, in my humble opinion, are in your own practice, facility.
No, I agree.
The romantics.
No, I agree.
Harold and Zeke.
I agree. No, for sure. I'm gonna say it now. Zeke is the defensive player of the year, for sure. But I also know that every time we play somewhere, we're their Super Bowl.
Yes.
So we have to come out, and I think the thing for Albany's been for the last year or maybe the last 2 seasons that we're a great second half team.
Yes.
Let's be a full team. Let's be a good four quarter guy team, and just go dominate for 4 quarters.
I've seen
I've seen a game when we dominated for 4 quarters. I think we put up 100 points. I mean, I'm just saying I wasn't a part of that, but I was, So
I can say, and I don't want to speak for anybody else that's not inside the building, but there's been a marked improvement in terms of a 4 quarter team. I would say since the Nashville game. I want to say, Desmond.
Yeah, since the Nashville game, we all, like I said, we got tired of being a second half team. Why don't we take their will, the first play of the game, first drive, first half, and then we shouldn't have to worry about being a second half team. We just go out there and compete, do what we do best. Practice is harder than the game.
Yeah, it should be,
especially here in Albany. Like I said, practices are hard. We're going against the best players. We got the best players around the league that can play on other teams, that can start on other teams. So it's just why are we playing down to our competition?
And most of all, what he's saying is honestly, man, sometimes people, of course, there's certain the Zekes and, Sams and certain guys we just know DB, they're just going to play DT, but other guys don't know if they're going to start. Yeah. So you got to come in here with a different mindset. You got to come in here you're not going to play.
Well, I think that's part of the genius too, because I've lost track a little bit, but there was a time during the season that roster was never the same every week. There's always somebody else that either surprisingly or whatever didn't end up playing that week, and I think that's been a genius thing, because I think he's done a really nice job of, even though you're 9-0, keeping everybody hungry. At least that's what I see from afar.
Definitely, he's been like that since I met Coach Ware, for sure.
Well, based on the story you told him about bringing another guy in, absolutely, man.
He doesn't guys is all even they make jokes now and last year man, you're like Coach Ware's son, man. You're gonna be. I said, man, Coach Ware will cut me. I just want to let y'all know that for sure. If I don't perform, he will cut me. So don't ever think that he won't cut me. I don't. He wants to win.
You know what I love? Obviously, just meeting you tonight, Sean, is you and Cisse are basically like the yin and yang of maybe this team. Like Cisse is like, yeah, doing our thing, and you're just like, well, we're gonna kill everybody. Just super subtle, like it's just gonna happen. We don't have to think about it. Gentlemen, I appreciate all your time tonight, and good luck this week against the Wolfpack, and we will be there on Saturday at the MVP Arena. Game starts at 7:00. We have a pregame show at 6:30. Yep. And hopefully, everybody will join us there, and we will wish you a good night, and we'll see you on.
One more thing.
Oh,
I don't mean
okay.
to step
You've
on
got me
you.
right in my middle of my clothes.
No,
Oh,
I
no.
know. I just want to remind everybody that we're raffling off that helmet.
Oh, yes.
Going into the playoff game, pregame. So everybody's signature. I'm going to ask you guys too to do it if you would.
No, for sure.
Yeah, we're raffling off the signed helmet. People can buy tickets in section 115 at the arena on Saturday, the flock support table. And people can go on Venmo. If you go on our Instagram, the Albany Firebirds Nest, the net, I can't remember.
Don't worry about it.
Whatever, you can find it. Search for the Nest at Albany Firebirds. You'll find it. There's a Venmo link if you want to do it through Venmo. And all the proceeds is going for the Center for Disability Services here in the Capital Region. So, we've sold a really good amount of tickets so far. We hope to double that number and even more and get that for that as well. So thank you for reminding me. That was good. Can I close now?
Anybody else? Anything?
Anybody else? Just say
we're good.
1, 2. All right. We'll let them go watch some film, and we will see you Saturday night at MVP Arena, 6:30 for the postgame or the pregame show, and for the postgame show. Gentlemen, thank you.
No, man, thank you.
See you guys.
That was great, guys.
Thank you.